Hey everyone, it's Splashberry and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, as you guys can see by the title, I'm going to be showing y'all how to do a Ryujin 3.5 scale shaping tutorial. And it's like a little method that I use and what I use to do it fast. And actually, I don't think it would take that long to shape the scales. Personally, although it is time consuming and people might find it pretty much time consuming, I've basically found a way, or I think it's a fast way on how you can shape your scales a little bit faster. So this is only half of the region, as you can see. Like, this is the half of the this part. I only collapsed the tail section, half of it, with the leg, but I haven't collapsed the other half. I basically cut the square paper in half, making the fold a lot easier, but this paper was made by a couple sheets all together to form the big square, and I basically just cut that in half so folding would be easier. So it's the same thing, but yeah, it's just easier to fold if you cut the paper in half. But other than that, shaping scales, Ryujin 3.5. What I use to shape scales, personally, is this thing. I know, it's pretty crazy, and people are going to be like, well, you might cut yourself, but, you know, I've been pretty careful with these types of stuff, but I've just found this being useful. I've been using this for a lot of things, just crafts, origami, and I've just been pretty comfortable using it. And apparently when I was shaping the scales, this has just made the whole shaping thing a lot easier. However, you can also use a toothpick, so you don't have to use this pointy thing. I just find this to be just useful. Personally, like, I just had this lying around and I just started using it because I think it has a tip and it's metal, right? So it's easier to just crease in and fold those tiny intricate details. But you can also use some kind of mechanical pencil that has like a, you know, a little metal point. Hopefully you can see, but that's right there. Or you can use you can use like a pastry plastic pointing thing to fold. It just needs to have like some kind of little point that is very small. It's something that has like a little tip. So yeah, this is the X-Acto knife which I use. If you are under the age of using these types of stuff, I would recommend asking your parents or just getting a mechanical pencil or a toothpick. For demonstrations, I will be using I'll actually be using this for the first scale, and then I'll use this. But you know, either one of these works great. Okay, like, doesn't matter. This works great, this works great. Or a toothpick. Toothpick is also a great alternative. So, scales. You can see I've only gotten this down to this section. I only need this part left and this whole row on the right side, which I've not gotten to yet. So, people find scales pretty time consuming, which I gotta agree on that. These definitely take time if you want it to be very detailed and look nice in the end. Some people decide not to do them, which, yeah, scales can be quite a nightmare for some people, but I don't really find it a nightmare. I find it quite fun. It's just folding and the experience of folding. So yeah, before I start showing y'all, I'm gonna show y'all the difference. If you want to skip ahead, I completely forgot. If you want to skip to the section where I'm actually shaping them, go ahead. I'll leave a timestamp in the description as well, so you don't have to listen to all my stuff if you want to get to the point. But for those of you who are just starting out, you can see this is the scales, but you can also see right here, there's a difference. The scales are tucked, this little square, each square are just like tucked in, and they're not like open like this, right? Right here, it doesn't open, and it's not even shaped. And so I'm going to show y'all how to get to this step. And then from there, that step, I'm going to show you how to get to this step. So let's start with this flap where it hasn't been creased, nothing has done to it. So I'm going to flip the paper over, flip the model over actually, and I'm going to show y'all this is what is happening behind. And we want to get to there, right? So for this section, you want to open the paper and fold it down. I should only just put it. Okay. So right here, you want to fold this down like this. You have to open the paper. So I'm going to show you right here. Write down this one right here. So when you first start out, because I already did these, when you first start out, it's going to look something like this, where it's like completely tucked in, and you just want to open that, fold that right there, and you can actually just fold it down like this first, and then like that. And that's what I did right here. So I'm going to continue from the top right here, and the same thing you're going to do, you're just going to pull this piece of paper out. So hold on right here and pull it just like that. And then you want to kind of crease the lines first, but then you want to make a diagonal, right? You want to kind of flap these into a triangle shape. So right here, you want to fold the square diagonal. Make sure it's all the way out like this, okay? And then right here, you just point down and create that diagonal fold, just like that. Same thing with the bottom. From here, sometimes it's easy to just fold it in right away. Sometimes it's not, so sometimes you have to just fold it down like this first. And then after that, fold this up into that triangle base, like that. Okay. Down here, the same thing, you just revise this section. Sometimes it automatically just kind of folds itself like that. You should end up the model looking like this. It has like a little flap. Make sure it's even when you fold it. It'll look something like this. Sometimes the top will be a little bit bigger and the bottom is smaller, but it just all depends. Same thing here. You just want to open. Once again, I'm going to show all. I'm going to fold. Yeah, I'm going to show y'all all the way up here. So once again, pull that flap out, crease the lines, should be 4. Then after that, squash it until you make a diagonal fold right here on the square, across the square. And then you can use your top finger to push that down. And down here to do the same. It'll look something like that. Once again, pull this out. Fold the diagonal. Make sure you're holding both sides, and when you fold it up, you want to make sure all the pieces come together. Sometimes you have to redo these sections a little bit. I would recommend pushing down like that first, so you have like a little point right here, and then after that just using this and pulling down like that, just like that. And it can be kind of tricky when the paper is just very small. That's why you want to use really big paper when you're folding the Ryujin, because when it comes to scale shaping and you want to shape it, you want to make sure you're able to do that. Or you can use the materials to help you do those. Sometimes the top flap may just slide off a little bit. You just put that back into place. That's interesting. Make sure that's up. Having a little trouble here with them. It should look something like this. Okay, let's continue. Let's go down like that. Press down. Make sure these align. Right, you want it to be all in line. You don't want this to just bend out here and you fold down. You want to make sure it's the lines are in line. If the top part, the flap, is kind of off, like it kind of folds out a little bit, that's fine. Like there's no problem. But just make sure when you fold it, it's lined up a little bit. So the scales will be very similar and connected. And the same thing here, this is the second to last. And you're just going to do something like that. Exactly the same thing with what we've been doing. And then this final piece right here, it's exactly the same thing, but you just pull it out, right? This time it's just going to be one little triangle right there. So you simply just push down like that and fold down. Just like that. Okay. Fold down like that. Once you've done that, you can flip the paper over. And you should have something like this. And make sure you fold the spikes on the top back. You'll end up with something like this. Right? And it might look a little weird at first, which you can try to readjust when you fold some of these. So make sure they're all really tucked in. Okay. So I've already done some at the top right here. So we're gonna do those. But that's how you end up looking with those ones tucked in. You can see there is a difference, right? These ones won't come out, these ones will, because they haven't been tucked in. Now we're gonna shape them actually now. So for these ones, I've already shaped right here. Now we're gonna shape this. Same thing right here. Or actually, for me, I usually like to shape this section of the belly right here. You can see there is a little line, a little open space. You want to poke the paper just a little bit. And you can see how it just kind of tucks in a little bit. Continue doing that. And you want to make sure it shapes straight down here, but not completely at the point. So just kind of goes like this. I just flatten it a little bit. That's it. So you don't have to do that, but if you want those extra little details, you can. So for the first scale, okay, you can use your finger on the back. It will be easier if you want to open the gap. You just want to poke the paper, tuck it in, just like that. And again, don't go completely at the tip, go like that, right? Give a little bit of space so it has that nice curvage to the scales. It makes it look a little bit better like that, just like that. You can see I only went down right there. I didn't go completely down. I highly recommend you just go like that. I suggest. And then the same thing here. Just use your finger to open it up a little bit and just press in. Just something like that. You can just stroke it down a little bit. And then use your finger, press. And that, my friends, is one scale done. And you can make it a lot nicer, but I'm gonna try to get to the point on how you do it. So now I'm gonna use my X-Acto knife. It's simply the same thing if you're gonna use a toothpick or a pastry little tool. So basically you're just gonna do this, tuck in right here, 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 let's see, here, here. And then right here you can also do one exactly just like how I did with these. If you want to do them. If you don't, you don't have to. But here you can open the little scale a little bit more to make it a lot easier when you do them. Now it might be kind of hard to show on camera a little bit just because, but in real life it's actually a lot easier to do. I think it's just the camera angle that makes it so small. Okay. And sometimes you want to go in just a little bit more, which is totally fine. Just like that. Alright, I'm gonna do the rest down here. Use those little open parts as a guide, and put your finger in the back to open the paper a little bit so that it's easier to just tuck in and shape it. And sometimes you can go a little bit deeper or shape it a little bit more so it looks a little bit better. And then I'm just going to keep on going all the way down. Try to zoom it just a little bit more for y'all. once you've gotten that first row, actually I'm not really done. I'm gonna do one more right here, but go ahead and do that. Open it up a little bit here. Sometimes going just a little diagonal makes it just look a little bit better like that. And again, the scales might not be really completely alike, but it has its own uniqueness, and it just makes it look like, you know, not every scale it's gonna be the same, but it'll be similar. But I'm going a little fast here on these ones. But yeah, so once you've gotten these scales right here, like it's, oh, sorry, my bad. I'm trying to figure out the camera angles these days, but I'll have to work on recording this, maybe trying a little bit of a new method. Right here, you can see we've done all these right here. Now, right here, you can also shape it. Like I said, some people don't do it, but for me, personally, I just want that extra little detail. So I'm gonna do that a little bit. Okay, let me just, I wanna make sure it points right. I don't know why. Just like that. I think that's good. That's it. And flatten the spikes a little bit. You can flatten the scales on the top of the book to make it look a little bit better. So I did flatten the same thing with the ones over here. Let's zoom this out a little bit. Okay. So now you guys can see we now have our official scales right here along this row, and just keep doing down the row like that all the way. And then, apologies, I turned off the light. And do them all down here. But personally, I find that method to be easier than, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same thing. How people, when they shape the scales, they open it first, right? You know, you do this. Right? Then you just fold it in like that, right? First people do that, and then they, I think what they do is they fold something in here instead of creasing it and then having to open and try to push in, which is a little bit more. I personally just like to do that and then use a little pointing thing and shape it right here and then. I just think it's a lot easier. Maybe it might not be, well, it might depend on some people, but personally this is how I do it. And if you'd like to try out this method, go ahead and give it a shot. Again, you don't need to use this. You can use this. I just like using this because it's just, I don't know, it just it's just a metal. I mean, the other one is also metal, right? It just has that nice point. As long as you have like a good point, you know, you're good to go. Like, this is great. I just prefer using something this, because this metal piece, I'm able to fold it down. I think that's the reason why I use this. But this also works, you know. and a toothpick or some pastry tool. But that, my friends, is really it. That's how you shape the scales. If you want more tutorials on Ryujin 3.5, let me know. Happy to help out. If you guys want me to, or you need help on shaping the leg scales, let me know. If this video gets 10 likes, I'll do a video on that. Or if you have any other recommendations on, or suggestions on what videos, Ryujin 3.5 tutorials or something, maybe something a little bit small that others might need a little bit help on, you need a little bit help on, you want to see how to do that, make sure to comment below, because I'm happy to take in any of y'all suggestions. But that's really it. Go ahead, give it a like if you enjoyed, and if you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on a video. But yeah, I am so excited for this Ryujin 3.5 when it finally does become complete. And you never know, what if I make another one? I enjoy making scales. Some people might not find it the best making scales, but for me it just looks nicer and cooler if you just give it a little time and have a little bit of fun with it. That's really it, and just changing the lighting a little bit. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Give it a like and go ahead and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace.